Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Two Men No Hope. I'm your host Daniel, and my co-host as always is Jamie.
2 hours later.
Hello.
Every time there's a massive gap, man, I'm going to have to fucking cut that one.
I always think I'm going to say something really clever, but it never happens.
Oh mate, I think about an intro all day and I bottle it right at the last minute.
Yeah.
We've got another good episode for you today. It's all about conspiracy theories, which I'm fucking excited about. So me and Jamie have got a few different ones each, and all because of our music artist this episode, OziBattler. And this was always going to be his episode for the music anyway, but he also sent us a question, so it worked out quite nice.
Yeah.
So, how have you been, man? I'm now technically COVID free, so I'm allowed out of the house.
How's that? How was the first trip out? Did you feel free?
Oh man, my anxiety was through the fucking roof. Like I had to go to the toilet like 3 times before I left the house, and then I was like, yeah, I was alright. But it's mental, like when you get told you can't leave the house and then you're allowed like freedom. It's a really odd sensation.
What I can imagine it as is, do you know, like when you used to watch like a zoo program back in the day, and they'd like release the little like antelope back into the wild and out of the box, and he just like stumbles out.
And then it sort of like looks around. And
yeah, and then starts fucking running.
Am I allowed to go? Yeah, because my mum, when she dropped off the food and all that, got a text message saying that she should test herself because she was near someone with COVID.
Has she still got that fucking app?
I think I had it on my phone as well, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, am I walking down the street in Kirkcaldy and everyone's phone's like pinging off because
Probably.
it hasn't caught up yet?
Anyone's still got that app, yeah. Because the reason I got rid of that last year was because I was in Bournemouth on the beach, yeah, and that was when you had to check in and check out everywhere, and I kept forgetting to check out, and in one weekend I pinged 7 times to isolate. So I was like, I'm either not going to check in or check out. So I took a screenshot of my thing and then deleted the app. So then when people asked for it, I just showed them the screenshot of the app.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. Risking it all for a beer, Dan.
Brilliant. Oh man, so just taking a drink there when I was doing the editing. There's loads of fucking pauses. Like the YouTube video is just me and you, like just watching us have a drink. And then carry on talking. You can't do that on the audio version, can you? Just leave in a blank sort of.
No, that's why if we were to like match them up, I bet they're quite a bit different because I cut quite a lot of that stuff out.
Yeah, you just see us, just beer pops up from the bottom of the screen.
And you can hear us tapping the can as well.
Oh yeah, and when you open it and stuff.
Yeah, I'm always like, fucking hell. I can hear someone's opening the thing. And sometimes we synchronise and we do it both at the same time, and I'm thinking, what the fuck?
I know as well that tapping the can doesn't stop it from exploding, but it's just like a habit now that I was told once it worked, and now I can't stop doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But it happens, alright. Well, how has your week been?
It's been okay. I've been... Yesterday, as you know, because we were supposed to record yesterday, I felt like shit. I woke up, felt terrible, and did the day at work, come home, and I fell asleep from 3 p.m, and then I was in and out of consciousness until the next morning, which was insane.
I love those days.
I've never slept that long in my life, innit? Never. It was I woke up this morning just like, what the fuck's going on? Jumped in the shower, got up and went back to work. I text you, and that was probably the 5 minutes that I was awake.
It makes me laugh because I was saying to Scott about that text message that you sent me, because he goes, "Oh, did you record your episode last night?" And I was like, "No, but I feel like Jamie's like co-boss or something." Because it's like he was trying to get out of work. He was like, "Oh, dude, I'm so tired." And you sent me this photo of you, like, your eyes closed. And I'm like, dude, don't worry about it.
My eyes were open there, Dan. My eyes were open. That's how fucked I was.
That's not the way you were just like, can we record tomorrow, man, because I'm really tired. Here's the proof. I'm sleepy.
Well, I didn't want you to think that I was just like bottling it. Do you know what I mean? I was like, I am actually feeling rough.
Nah, you're right, man. We're here today. It will still get done by Friday or Monday. So, massive shout out to OziBattler, because he's actually been sending us quite a few messages, and he subscribes to our YouTube channel, I noticed as well. So, and I love an Aussie. Good. I do love an Aussie. So, he says he's been listening to the podcast, and he has a subject for us. What do you do when an old friend starts going down the conspiracy spiral and starts posting stuff that you know is wrong? I want to post counter arguments, but he's already not happy about anything I say because of my song about anti-vaxxers, which we'll play at the end of the episode. And we go back a long way, and I would hate to lose him as a friend. I get his anti-vax stance, as he has always been a crunchy granola type, but I think this has exposed him to some bizarre theories, and when he posts stuff, the other people that comment are only there to agree with him, as I think the rest of us don't want to get involved. It's hard with conspiracy theorists, because I think if you are one of them people, you're generally quite stubborn.
Yeah. Especially when, like, there's a few people that I work with and stuff that are all up anti being against, like, getting vaccinated and stuff. And their straight response to me is, oh, fuck that. I'm not putting that in my body. I'm not putting that in my body. And all this stuff. But then I know they're out on the weekend doing the most amount of fucking cocaine ever.
That's what I was about to say, yeah. There's some fucking crackhead, like, cutting their coke with, like, baby laxatives. And they're like... But they won't go to the government and get a fucking vaccination that will, like, help a dying woman who's not getting COVID or something.
When we worked in Co-op, yeah, there used to be this geezer that I knew was a drug dealer come in and bought the bicarbonate soda out of the whole shelf every week. He'd do the same thing, and he was clearly cutting his coke, yeah. And I'm thinking half of Stopsley or half of Luton is having this coke off this geezer, and then he's probably an anti-vaxxer because he's doing that. And I'm just like,
oh yeah, my cousin's husband, he's like a raver.
yeah,
He's like this big fat bloke, really. He fucking goes to a rave like every weekend. And he's a massive, like, oh, they only want to do that because they want to track us and things like that. And I'm like, mate, you're so fucking boring. No one wants to track you. And then he'll go out and he'll take a load of fucking acid and E and all that sort of stuff, and he'll come back and I'm like, you're just a clown, mate. A flat out clown.
to be honest, if the government wanted to inject me with something to track me, they can if they want, because there's not much going on.
No.
They'll see me go to work, come back, go to the occasional pub, occasional restaurant, and then what am I doing there? I'll be eating and drinking. I'm not fucking going to some kind of, like, meet up with, like, some, I don't know, I suppose anti-vaxxers and not celebrity people, conspiracy people could be meeting up with each other and in, like, basements and shit, talking about weird
because
shit.
they're both stubborn, innit? Like, if you've got to be that sort of person to go against what everyone's saying and be like, now I'm right.
Yeah. And it is hard, especially when someone you know, and especially someone you're close with, is putting up weird posts on Facebook. And you've just got to, like, kind of bite your tongue. Like, I've done it a lot of the time, not with conspiracy theories and that, but, like, someone's put up a statement that I think, why have you put that up? There's no need to put that up. And then, like, if I say anything, I'll just be absolutely ripped apart for being a dickhead. So I just stay quiet and let them ruin their own lives.
Yeah, there's not a lot you can do when people are, like, stubborn like that. The best thing that's what we're doing right now is get your own conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
Just join in. Sometimes I quite enjoy it, like learning people's bizarre, like, and obviously I like listening about the flat Earth and the hollow Earth and stuff like that. And it was just entertainment. Do you see the guy? He was like, oh, I'm going to prove the world's flat by going on a plane. Oh
yeah, and he saw the horizon.
And he goes around, yeah, and he takes a spirit level with him, and he's like, and he puts it on the table, and he's like, if we're going round in a circle, the spirit level won't stay in the middle of, well, the bubble won't stay in the middle. So he goes on this like 10-hour flight, and it stays in the middle, and he's like, "There's your proof," and everyone's like, "You don't know how planes work, do you?"
I also watched, I think it might have been a Louis Theroux, because you know what I'm like about Louis Theroux. It might have been a Louis Theroux documentary where he was talking to some flat earthers, and there's this boat test that they were showing him, and you look at this boat through binoculars, or what's that thing called that they used to use on boats? Pirates use the one-eyed binocular.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I'll put up the what it is in the bottom of the video.
The fact that I can't remember what it is
Telescope.
Fucking mental. Telescope, that's it. Yeah, they're looking through that, and then they say if the boat disappears over the horizon, it's not a flat Earth. If it stays on the horizon the whole time, after like 10 miles or whatever it is, it's a curved Earth. Yeah, so they're saying this boat's not going to disappear off the horizon. So that this boat drives straight out into the sea for about 10-15 miles, gets to the horizon, gets lower and lower and lower, and disappears, isn't it? And then like the guy tries to then explain that to the host, yeah, saying how something must have happened and something's gone wrong with the shift in the gravity or something. And I was just like, what are you fucking talking about?
Jesus, fucking damage control. Isn't
He
it?
like debunked himself on camera. Fucking idiot.
Fucking love it. Absolutely love it. It's funny actually because I had to bring up that Avril Lavigne, that she's dead.
Mm-hmm.
And I was sitting on TikTok just before we come on here, and Avril Lavigne put a TikTok up.
Oh really?
And it said, most annoying things people say, like to you in general, and it come up saying, "Am I the real Avril Lavigne?" It's such a ridiculous story, but I love it.
You know why that is, Dan? Because through your vaccination, people were listening to you about Avril Lavigne. Now you're getting posts about Avril Lavigne.
And now I'm getting praised about Avril Lavigne. I don't mind, man. I think she's alright. Always when she was younger, I thought she was alright as well. But like, they think that she was killed in. She died in 2003 and was replaced with her body double Melissa.
Right.
Because apparently Melissa was hired when she was alive to deal with paparazzi because she was so big. So like she would get out and talk to everyone instead of Avril Lavigne.
So Avril could disappear.
Yeah. And then apparently before she passed away, she was teaching her how to sing for her as well, in case obviously she needed her for an event if she wasn't well. And then like there's like photos where she's got Melissa written across her hand, but I think to myself, that's not evidence, because why would Melissa have her own name? Like she's got her own name or something written it on her hand.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Yeah.
No. But yeah, so there's all these different stuff, and then I don't know. Sometimes I think it is true, because she was married to that guy from Sum 41, wasn't she?
Yeah.
The main singer. And that song "In Too Deep," is it "In Too Deep" or "The Deep," whatever? And I always make jokes saying this was the song when he found out.
Oh, when he's in too deep.
He's in too deep, yeah. You can't do stuff like that, because they did the same thing with Paul McCartney.
That's what I was just about to bring up. That was one of my things that I had. Is the Paul
Yeah.
McCartney one. They said that he died in a car crash in '66. And he was replaced by a guy called Billy Shears.
Billy Shears, fucking hell, he just wanted a different name, didn't he?
And apparently, like, there's like loads of album covers and stuff that have got like conspiracy like things on it. So, like in one of them, do you know that Abbey Road?
Abbey Road.
Where they're all dressed like in a funeral procession, but he's in bare feet and his cigarette facing down. They're saying that's because he's dead. And the rest of them aren't. They're all dressed up properly. And there's another one where he's wearing black and the rest of them are wearing red, and then he's got like officially pronounced dead on his arm or something.
But I can see that one making more sense, because that would have happened when you didn't have the internet or social media, or like changing someone like that would have been a lot easier.
And the pictures of before and after 66 of him and post 66 are actually quite compelling. I'm not saying I believe it, but he does actually. It looks like it could be a different bloke.
I think I've got the album Abbey Road downstairs, but I think it's like a anniversary edition. I don't think it's like the original.
Yeah.
But because I couldn't imagine they could do it with Avril Lavigne.
Well, I don't think she was famous. Well, she might have been more famous in America, but I don't think she was famous enough really to even bother. I think with the Beatles, they were famous. They were like a big, huge, like thing that it would have cost loads of money for them people back in the day to get rid of it. Do you know what I mean?
She was really weird though, because she got like massive, and then all of a sudden she vanished for years, and then she came back and was like, "Oh, I had Lyme disease." And it's just like, right.
I thought you get Lyme disease from like fucking eating raw like meat in it and stuff.
I don't know.
Don't know. That could be completely wrong. That could be totally fucking wrong.
But yeah, she just come back. She had like stuff like that, and you're like, right. But she did some like voiceover stuff in like films. She was in that film Over the Hedge. Oh yeah. With like the animals.
Mm.
Yeah, she was the raccoon, the daughter raccoon.
Oh. So she has been about.
Like that. Yeah. But I didn't realise as well that she was married to the guy from Sum 41, and then she married the lead singer for Nickelback.
What, fucking long haired?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh.
She was married to him. I don't know if she still is married to him, but that's such a really odd fucking...
He's a lot older than me.
Yeah, he is, yeah. He has that... When you look at him, he looks older as well. Like, you think he's about 40 odd.
Mm. I did used to love Nickelback. Do you remember when they were like the most hated band ever?
Hated?
Yeah,
no.
People hated them. Like it was actually cool at some point to hate Nickelback and say they weren't a proper rock band and all this shit.
I love Nickelback, man. What they were in a movie? Was it Spider-Man or was it Spider-Man?
Don't know. Yeah, they could have been actually. I vaguely remember a Spider-Man clip being in one of their music videos.
It was either Spider-Man or it was like Daredevil, but they were in like a superhero movie thing
back in the day.
Might have been Daredevil. Yeah, they were massive, and they got a bit saucy as well. What was the album they released? No, it wasn't Horseshoe. But they were like talking about sex. Like one of their songs was like "Something in Your Mouth" and stuff like that. Because before they wouldn't even swear, and they come back with this album, and it's like it's actually quite good. It was one of my favourite albums of theirs, actually. Maybe
that's why people used to call them not proper rock stars, because they wouldn't swear. I remember getting absolutely ridiculed for liking them.
Oh, Dark Horse it was called.
Dark
Horse, yeah.
Joe, what Nickelback... have I ever told you this story? Nickelback brings back some fucking stories for me, innit? Like, I went and did... I wanted to be like a... When I got kicked out of college, I went to like this other college, and I wanted to be a youth worker.
Mm.
So I had to do health and social care, yeah? So I was doing that, and it was only me and two other girls in this class, yeah? And we'd be in this place in the middle of Barton, which is like in the middle of nowhere, innit? And they tasked us with different things every day, and then one day I had to look after this autistic kid that they looked after like once a week. Mm-hmm. And the only thing he would listen to is Nickelback, or talk about is Nickelback. He wouldn't talk about anything else. And this, like, he was about 16, I was about 16, so we were about the same age. And we went out for a smoke together,
mm-hmm.
and he was talking about Nickelback, and they said, whatever you do, don't let him near the wall. There's like this 6-foot wall like brick wall, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And on the other side was like emergency vets and stables. And I was like, right, I won't let him near the wall. So I stood in front of the wall and we're having a smoke, and then he passed me his headphones. And he was like, listen to this, and it was Nickelback playing. And he was like, what do you think of that? And I was like, yeah, it's really good. And then I went to put my cigarette out, turned around, the fucker's over the wall, Dan. He's straight over the wall, yeah, and he's in. I could hear horses going. And I was like, I've been duped. I've been duped by this fucker. And it was the first time looking after him. They had to go around. 25 minutes took him to get back, wrangle him back out of the. He wouldn't come out of the stable, wouldn't it?
Just because he wanted to see the horses.
I don't know what it was. Don't know. He gave it whatever it was. He gave up Nickelback anyway because I had his headphones.
Fucking hell. That's before wireless, mate. You can feel them tugging.
Yeah.
Over the wall, hanging by it. Let go, Jamie. Let go.
They come out and there was like, I said, he's gone over the wall, and there was like, we told you not to let him near the wall. I was like, I didn't know what was there at the time until we went round, and all the vet women are going mental because it's not the first time he's been over there.
Fucking hell. Talking about wild animals, my cat is going fucking mental. Go outside. Do my tits in. You know the whole thing about Walt Disney being frozen.
I know that he chose to be frozen, yeah.
Some people say like it's just his head,
or like in Futurama.
Yeah, like he asked his head to be cryogenically frozen.
That's fucking
so
weird.
when science is better, he can come back. He wouldn't come back because he was a racist fucking arsehole.
Wasn't he like super like anti-Semitic or something?
Yeah, he was an absolute horrible fucking bastard. And they but they've been like trying to change his image for like years and years and years. Like he used to smoke, chain smoke, and Walt Disney are like, oh no, smoking's not family friendly. So they went back and they edited the cigarettes out of all of his pictures.
That's what people moan about George Lucas doing with Star Wars, going back and re-editing the films.
But like now, because I can imagine Walt Disney's a fucked up company, man. Like, but now people are saying that the movie Frozen was only made so it would trick the Google algorithm that when you searched Walt Disney Frozen, it wouldn't come up about him being frozen. It would come up with their film. To try and get people to forget about him being cryogenically frozen.
I suppose that could make sense. But
apparently he's supposed to be I say buried. He's supposed to be frozen underneath the Pirates of the Caribbean ride.
Yeah, that's what I've heard as well. I don't know where I heard that, but I've heard that somewhere.
Why Pirates of the Caribbean? I don't know. Is it like a booty? You got to go hunt for it and you find his head.
You just go down there and there's... So, do you remember in the old Batman film where Arnie's fucking Mr. Freeze, isn't it?
He's fucking Mr. Freeze?
No, he is Mr. Freeze. And you come down the stairs and he's like looking like Arnie back in the day. Do you remember that film?
Yeah, I watched it the other day. It's fucking quality. What are you drinking?
Budweiser.
It looks like a hot sauce. Oh, I see it now.
I've got to keep it light because I'm not feeling great.
Yeah, I've only got the 2. But yeah, I imagine him doing it. He was that sort of fucking crazy, wasn't he?
Yeah, I would. If I had enough money, I would tell them, freeze me up for 1,000 years, yeah? And once everyone's dead and I don't have any problems that I have to deal with anymore, unfreeze me and let me see what's going on, innit? I think it would be interesting. It'd be depressing. But it would be interesting.
Yeah, because he would hate everything because nothing's the same.
Oh, by then it will be... Everyone will be different fucking species, let alone genders, do you know what I mean?
It would be like fucking taking like Winston Churchill and putting him in like now times and stuff. He'd be like, this country's fucked. And he'd be going off his nut. He's like, put me back, put me back, put me back. Yeah,
talking about anti-Semitic, what I've realised doing some of the research for this is 95% of conspiracy theories come back to that the Jews caused it.
Oh yeah, the Jews get everything there.
I don't know why these people like seem to pull back straight and go after the Jews. I don't know what it's all about. I don't know what. I was reading something and it was like really like get me into it, and I was thinking I would never have believed this before reading this and all this shit. And then at the end it was like, and then the Zionists and did this and they did this, and I was like, what the fuck? They just went down a 25-minute Jew path.
That's what they get. They suck you in with something that sounds believable.
Yeah.
And then they're just
and
like,
it just goes batshit.
and then they're fucking Jews.
Yeah.
Walt Disney invented racism.
But I was reading, and watching about the reptilian elite. Have you heard of the reptilian elite?
Maybe.
They're basically a guy called David Icke, yeah, was the most famous person for talking about it, and he's been everywhere. He's done like shows everywhere about it and all this stuff. And he was like a footballer in the 70s.
Right.
And he's English, and he went from there to being a presenter, and then he gave up everything, and then was like, went on a talk show on the Wogan show. Do you remember Terry Wogan?
Mm-hmm.
He went on the Terry Wogan show and decided that he wanted to tell everyone that he was the son of God. Yeah.
It's quite funny, really. 2,000 years ago, had a guy called Jesus sat here and said these same things, you would still be laughing. It's really, really funny that we've not really moved on that much.
They're laughing at you. They're not laughing with you.
Fine.
So then he got denounced as like a complete batshit crazy mental case, yeah. Disappeared for a few years. And then he come out with a book about the reptilian elite. I can't remember what the book was called. And in the book, he basically says that these reptile humanoids are like living in the centre of the earth, yeah. And they've sent out hybrids of themselves and humans that shapeshift into humans whenever they want to take over like our powers, like the main people in power. So
right.
He says like the Bushes are reptiles, the royal family are reptiles, all of like these certain people. There's also he found a way to prove that like Obama is actually a distant cousin of the Bushes, and all like 50. There's like 50 presidents, isn't it? Like 25 of them are related or something in some way, shape, or form. There's videos of people's eyes changing, like celebrities' eyes changing to like reptiles' eyes mid like interview and shit like that. It's just completely mental. And then I think there's no way there's people following this guy. And then I like looked into it on Facebook, and he's got millions of people believing him. Millions of people believe him.
Oh yeah, I bet they would.
I would never ever, like, I'm quite open about things, but to think that there's like a superior race, I can't remember what he calls the race, there's some superior race that is controlling everything, and that's the reason that that we think the Illuminati and all that stuff, but it's actually them.
Oh, what, he's saying that they're the Illuminati?
Yeah, they're like the secret control behind the world. And when Epstein upset him, Epstein got killed, stuff like that.
Epstein, fucking hell. Bringing that up, isn't they?
What else did he say? He said something that I thought was fucking insane. Yeah, he said, he was another one that brought it back to the Jews. And he said that, what's his name? Hitler was found out about the reptilians, and that all Jewish people were reptilians. so that was his
Hitler
reasoning
found out
behind
that
the
the
Holocaust.
Jews are reptilians, so he tried to wipe them out?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, people just string anything together.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what come up in the end, and that's what I mean. I was going through all of this thing and all these people following him. I was like, he's got to be quite compelling, and he does sound like he knows what he's talking about when you hear him talk.
Yeah.
But then when he started coming out with the anti-Semitic bullshit, I was just like, oh my god, another one. If reptilians aren't far-fetched enough, we bring it back to the Jews. I couldn't believe it.
I love it. I couldn't imagine the... Why reptilians? I can't understand.
He said they were the original species on Earth. And then there was some kind of cataclysm, put them underneath the ground, and then they raised us as a species to try and like bring the world back to how it should be before they come back up. And then like they use us as for rituals, like blood rituals and all that shit. Because there's always like loads of rituals going on around the White House, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
But everyone always puts it down to just like weird bullshit that rich white men do, which it probably is.
Yeah.
But he's saying it's all to do with the Satanists that are worshipping the reptilians and all this shit. Completely
That's
mental.
weird, man. Can you imagine if that was actually true? Your fucking head would explode.
Mate, if I was talking to someone and then all of a sudden their face changed,
Like,
I'd be like, that's
Like-
it, I'm done.
like you know the film National Treasure,
Yeah.
and they say about how the president's got the president's book, that when he becomes in power, it's got like all the secrets that all the presidents have kept from everyone.
I think that's probably true.
Yeah, but it's like that, like, so you're not like a reptilian, right? And then you become like a pope or like the Washington and what else, and then you go into this room, and they're like, well done on becoming the president, and then they pull their masks off and they're fucking reptilians, and just be like, I'm done. What do you mean you're done? You can't do that. No, I'm done. No, I don't want to see that. I just undo it.
It would scare the shit out of me, yeah.
You'd be like, that's it. Check it out.
I remember watching an episode of Doctor Who when I was younger, and there was like, it was all the Prime Minister and stuff were secretly these aliens, and they all went into Doctor Who, and that went into the room, and they were all chatting, and then all of a sudden they pulled off this mask, and they were like this big fuck off alien, innit? And I was just like,
That's like the worst nightmare. Like, everyone wants to know the truth, but no one ever wants to see it.
no.
You think, oh, that'd be really cool, and then when you really think about standing in a room and someone's taking their face off, you're like, no. I always remember Outer Limits. Did you ever watch that TV show?
No.
The Futurama did a comic thing about it, the Scary Door.
Oh, right.
Like, every episode's sort of like a different paranormal thing, and I always remember this episode that freaked me out for weeks, and this guy started growing another face on the back of his head, like underneath his hair.
What the fuck?
Yeah, and then it's like he pulls his hair up and there's like fucking eyes and a nose and a mouth there, and I was sort of like, That was weeks. I couldn't sleep. I was like, I'm done. But now I think to myself, if I watched that now, it would look really stupid.
I remember there was like in American Horror Story Freak Show, there was a guy with a face on the back of his head, like Voldemort. He was like he come in the night and collected people's souls or something, and he had,
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah, he was then the cop in the hotel, wasn't he? The actor.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember the one. Yeah, I don't know why that freaked me out so much when I was younger. The Outer Limits. It's quite a good show. It's one of those shows though that's like, one episode was really good, and then the episode would be complete rubbish,
Yeah.
and then it'd be really good because every episode was different.
Kind of like Black Mirror, innit?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Or Creep Show. Creep Show was like that. But what a quality fucking thing. Saying about eyes on the back of their head. I love the theory that Stevie Wonder's not blind.
I knew you were going to bring this up.
It's just playing the long con, mate. This is one I guarantee this is real.
Really?
The long con. Yeah, of course it is. Like,
Is he still alive?
I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he is. But like, he wasn't born blind.
Was he not?
No, like he had his sight when he was young. So he could be like partially blind. You know what I mean? Like he could still he might still be able to see things, but not 100%.
Yeah.
But like, because there's all these, like Paul McCartney, there's a video on the internet where he's on stage with Paul McCartney, and Paul McCartney turns around, knocks the microphone, and as it's falling to the ground, he just reaches out, grabs it, and props it back up, and then keeps on fucking singing and dancing.
No way.
There's no, even like, if your hearing was really good, you're on stage, everyone's singing and being a dickhead. It's falling through the air. There's no way a blind person would grab that.
Unless he's like Daredevil.
Unless he's echolocation in it.
Half bat.
But like, even like there was another one with like Shaq, like Shaquille O'Neal. And he said that he got in an elevator, didn't say nothing or anything like that. Stevie Wonder was in there, and he just gets in, he turns around, and Stevie Wonder just turns to him and goes, "You alright, Shaq? How's it going?"
What the
fuck? How's he know it's him?
What the fuck?
It's mental, isn't it? And even Lionel Richie as well, he said that he saw him get into a car, Stevie Wonder get into a car, and reverse it down a driveway perfectly.
What?
Get out of the car again.
Him himself driving?
Yeah, Stevie Wonder was driving, reversed the car, and then got out. And Lionel Richie was like, "I've known this guy most of my life. There's no way that he's blind."
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
I bet you on the fucking his hospital bed there'd be cameras everywhere, and then they'll just lift up his glass and be like, "Got you, motherfucker!" And then he'll that'd be him cashing out.
That would be fucking brilliant, man. That would be brilliant. That's insane. Like, to think that's like certainly not Ron Burgundy, isn't it? Like when Ron Burgundy went blind.
I'm blind.
I'm blind.
But I could imagine it, but like because he's one of those guys, he just plays on it, and people have said to him, "Oh, can you see?" And he'd be like, "That'd be good, wouldn't it?" And then just like laughs.
I didn't actually say yes or no.
No, he just sort of lets it play on.
Yeah, I bet on his deathbed he'll be like fucking going like this. Trance music, everything, just full eyes.
He's like, "Has anyone got a pen and paper?" And they write on it. I can imagine it. I really could. But like, he got on stage, I can't remember what it was, and he lifted his glasses up because he's always wears glasses, doesn't he?
Is his eyes fucked?
And you can see, yeah, his eyes are like. But you could play that if you've been pretending for 60 years.
Well, there would be there would be makeup artists and stuff that can do it for you. Yeah, there's surely would be makeup artists and stuff that would sort you out doing stuff.
Yeah,
like
but
that.
you've got all that time and money. I don't see why you wouldn't just do it yourself. He's probably sitting at home right now on fucking Twitter
playing Fortnite.
Does anyone talk to you? His fucking name is like the real Stevie Wonder. He's just going around. Be fucking brilliant.
He just keeps sending voice notes of Ron Burgundy going, "I'm blind!" to everybody.
I can't remember any of the lines from that scene either.
Isn't
he like he's put his shirt in the oven or something?
He was like, "Does this feel like a dick to you?" And he passes his leg over.
He puts his leg out.
He was like, "I was stroking myself too." For 2 fucking hours, and I realised I was just getting my shin warm.
Fucking ridiculous. Actually, I saw that on TikTok today, that little clip.
So did I. That's what made me think of it, to be fair. Yeah, but that could be quite believable if there's been so many accounts of it, do you know what I mean? I do think there's loads of bullshit that goes on in celebrities' lives that we just are not aware of.
Oh, yeah, of course. Like I said, they've got loads of money and time.
Exactly.
Like, why wouldn't you piss about with it? I was laughing because I was saying to my mate about Tom Hanks finally lost it at a fan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because him and his wife were coming out of a restaurant, and there was these people trying to, I don't know what they were trying to get his autograph, I guess. And one got too close and sort of tripped a little bit and slammed into his wife and almost knocked her over.
Fucking hell.
And he just turned around. He was like, he was like, "Step the fuck back." He's like, "Is this how you fucking present yourself?" and all this stuff. And they put him in and the guy was just sort of stunned. It's Tom Hanks, isn't it? No one's fucking Tom Hanks ain't like that. And my mate was like, "Oh yeah, Dave Grohl does something like that." So Dave Grohl doesn't give out signatures anymore for like fans and that. He only signs things for charity.
Right.
He said it's got to the point where people just take the things that he signed, they make loads of money on it on eBay. So he's like, "I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not lining people's pockets. Like, I'll do it for charity," which that's fair enough. I think that's really good of him. So like, he's out, I don't know, getting something, and all these people are crowding him, going like, "Oh, we want your autograph, blah blah blah," and he's like, No, I only do it for charity. Like, I'll shake your hand and say hello or whatever, but I'm not signing anything. And they just weren't not having it. And he's like, "Whoa, I'm gonna tell you one more time." And they all go quiet. Then he goes, "See ya," and just fucking bolts and just runs up the road. If you get to see the clip, it's fucking hilarious. He's just like, "See ya," just fucking runs away.
I really don't get these people that are fucking trying to get autographs and shit, man. It makes no sense to me at all.
Makes me feel uncomfortable. Like, if I've seen a couple famous people, and the last thing I want to do is fucking go up to them and ask them for an autograph. It makes you like, because they're going out getting on with their day,
or even a selfie. I think is more intrusive.
Yeah. "Oh, do you mind me just leaning over your dinner and getting a photo with you?"
What? my mate from work, yeah, his neighbour come up to him and asked, because he wanted to do a special present for his missus. There's like some writer for some fucking book she wanted. They were doing like sign-ins and sending them to people through the post. It was one of them SAS guys from.
Oh yeah,
from
like
that
Bear Grylls.
Yeah. From, I can't remember what that program's called. SAS something. With Ant Middleton and all that lot. So he was sending messages to people signing on the book and then sending it through the post for an extra fee. So he's like, "Can you pay for it and get it delivered to your house so then my missus don't know about it and I'll give you the money?" He was like, "Yeah, okay." And then my mate's name's Steve, innit? And the book arrives about 3 months later because it took so long to come through. And the book says, "To Steve, love that you enjoy my work, from whoever it was."
Fucking hell.
Not the woman's name.
That's mental.
So Steve's like, "I've just wasted 40 quid on this fucking book with an autograph that I have to now pay for myself because I can't bring it to myself to tell my neighbour." And he's ordered another one with the name on it this time. I just couldn't believe it.
Fuck that. I don't see the point. I bought a cookbook the other day from Waterstones.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know there was a signature in it. And I got home and a big sticker on the front that says signature inside. But I was like, "Is there?" And I was
For
like,
a cookbook?
Yeah. For a cookbook, yeah. Scottish one. Scottish food. I love my Scottish food. But yeah, no, I couldn't fucking... There was a... You know when you look at a plane and you get the condensation lines from like the engine when it's flying, that makes it look like a line? Yeah. Well, there's people out there that think that them lines are the government spraying chemicals in the atmosphere to control population.
Who?
There's a community of people, the chemical trails. And even though it was proven it's not true,
no,
there's still a group of people out there that think that when the plane goes over, that's them releasing population control chemicals.
So the condensation coming off an aeroplane's engine.
You know, like when you see the plane flying, there's like that line behind it.
Oh, behind it. Oh, right, yeah.
It's like, that line there is chemicals being released into the atmosphere.
Well, I could put that one to bed because I work with like de-icing equipment on planes. Yeah. And I can tell you, there's plenty of fluids that come off that shit when it's in the air. I'm telling you now.
Fuck it, it's just mental. Like, people are just sitting in their garden and they're looking up and they're like, "Oh, that looks like some chemicals coming out of that plane there." Oh, I've got them now. I've got them.
Why wouldn't they just once a year crop dust the whole fucking country if that was going to be what happened in it?
Because there's 20, 30 flights a day going out of the one place, Jamie. It's easier to get them to do it.
Yeah, true. It's like there's a lot of Americans. I don't want to come after America here because obviously we've got quite a few American listeners. But there's a lot of Americans that won't drink tap water, and there's a lot of people that I know quite closely now.
Yeah, but that's not just America. That's the UK as well.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. A lot of people I know quite closely now that have fallen into this bullshit of not drinking tap water because they think there's some kind of control behind it. Just get over yourselves.
Weren't they putting fluoride in the water to control
for a little
people's
while.
teeth?
Yeah.
Didn't help because my teeth are fucked. I drink loads of water.
But they, the conspiracy theory behind that is that people think that there's some kind of drug in it that will make you like more malleable to control.
Mm-hmm.
So they upped the ante when we were on COVID, they think, because we needed more control to stay in our homes, even though people were doing whatever the fuck they want, as you've discovered afterwards.
Yeah.
So it's just all bullshit. It's just, and like, if they want to control you, they're not going to put it in the water. There's so many ways they could put it. You just throw it into every bag of meat in Tesco's, easy, or every something in every. If for vegans, yeah, vegans have a whole free from section. Yeah, they can take the whole section. You ain't gonna know.
They've just put the fucking signals in the radio, haven't they? But like that control thing makes you laugh because all the Americans were having protests, weren't they, about COVID, saying it doesn't exist. And there's a guy that I've seen on YouTube, Jim was talking about the other day, Channel 5 News or something it's called. And he goes to all these like rallies in America and meets all these mental American people. And he went to a COVID rally, and there was a few people there. There's one person I remember come up, gave him the microphone, and he's like, "I've never washed my hands," and the guy sort of takes his microphone away, like walks away. And then there was another guy that's like, "I've never been sick in my life. I don't believe this. Someone cough in my face," and someone come out, literally coughed into his mouth, and he went, "Thank you," and then walked away. I was like, "You're a fucking nutter." That was so good. That video,
disgraceful, isn't it?
Yeah.
The thing is, like, I understand when COVID come about that people were dubious about the vaccines and all that stuff because they come around so quickly. But how can you not deny that it was actually real? Do you know what I mean? Especially when you know, like, at the beginning, I didn't know anyone that had it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of like, well, it's not as bad as what people are making out. And then all of a sudden last year, everyone and their fucking dog had it. Do you know what I mean? And I was just like, oh, okay, maybe it is real.
We're going through another spike at the minute, aren't we? Like, everyone's getting it again.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake, I got it. 2 years I managed to get without it, and I got it.
Yeah. And it's just, like, I just don't, like, I think the English way of reacting to things is just everyone just ignores everything. They just don't. Instead of you get, like, the odd people that go protest, but they're, like, the type of people that, like, live in fucking house shares of pot noodles and shit. They're not actually, like, proper productive members of society.
Yeah.
But in America, like, normal people will go out and protest, and that is better that way. But sometimes
in a
it's
way,
crazy shit.
Yeah. Ours are just ignore it and it'll go away.
Yeah.
Just get on with your life. There's bigger things to worry about. But fuck that. There was another story I was going to talk about, but it's not really a conspiracy theory. But a guy at work told me about it, and I didn't even know. There was the church were going to like children's homes and stuff and shipping kids to Australia and Canada and that. Did you hear about that?
No.
So like, I was talking to this guy at work, Ron.
Yeah.
He's like late 50s, like early 60s.
Mm.
And he was like, they were called the home children. And I was like, oh, what's that? And he goes, so when it started off, like, it was hundreds of years old. Like, it used to be people that didn't, like, kids that didn't have homes and that, they would get taught, they would get given education, and then they would get sent to, like, America and, like, Canada, Australia and that to live, and then be, like, productive Remember
Okay.
Versailles? But
Yeah.
then the church were like, "Oh, we like this," and they sort of stamped off on it. So it got to the point then where the church would just come in to like a children's home that was like overfilled or whatever like that, and they would just be like, "All you people are now leaving," and they would stick you on a bus, ship you to the like. Mostly it went to Australia, and it was a lot of kids from like Scotland. You would go into Australia, and then they would just leave you. So you'd be like fucking working your ass off with this little kid. You'd have like barely a roof over your head or anything like that, and then they would just be like, "There you go," because there's no one there. And Ron was like, so when like, well, I don't know, like what, 50, 60 years ago, if your mum was going out shopping or whatever, they would take you to like a child's home, and they would just leave you there for the day.
No.
So he said
So
was
you
like,
go to an orphanage for a day?
yeah, and then they would come pick you up when they were done like doing their shopping and stuff like that.
As though it was like play scheme.
yeah. So Ron was like, so one day, my mum took me to this child home and was like, "Oh, I'll come get you later," and she was out doing her shopping, and his granddad comes down to the town. He's like, "Oh, where's Ron?" And she's like, "Oh, I just left him, blah blah blah." He's like, "What?" And he fucking runs home, gets a fucking baseball bat, and goes down the child's home. And he was like, the church was there, rounding fucking kids up. And he fucking apparently like grabbed him by the back of his fucking thing, and he's like, "Don't you touch this fucking boy!" And like went to go fucking whack one of the fucking church people.
Can you imagine?
But yeah, because because eventually, when the kids were older, that's how they found out. They were sort of like, "I want to come back home," because obviously they become citizens of Australia and that they don't have anyone here.
Yeah, yeah.
And the kids would get told their parents are dead.
Fucking hell.
They'd be like, "Oh, you've got no one left. You know, come with us. We'll give you a better life," and fucking ship them off to Australia. And they were like, "Oh, we want to know who our parents are." So like, countries have apologised for it.
There's nothing more off-putting than a bunch of priests rounding up a bunch of kids, sending them to another country. There's a little bit fishy in it.
It's fucking mental, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely
Just
fishy.
to just be like, "Oh, we'll just stick you in another country, fucking ship you over there." Fucking crazy. Only the church would get away with something like that as well.
Yeah. Well, the church has done loads of crazy shit over the years. Like, have you ever seen the film Spotlight?
Oh, I love that film. Yeah, it's really good.
Where they
that was the one
discover,
where
like,
they
the
found out
huge-
about sex ring.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I say sex ring. The church was covering up pedophiles.
Yeah, they were like putting them in a house together and saying they were all on medical leave. And they'd be like sitting in random houses in random neighbourhoods together to be like 12 paedophile priests in a house. And they were all still sort of signed to the church, but they were all on medical leave. And then eventually, once they think they reformed them, they'll move them out and put them elsewhere. That's just fucking mental.
You just can't touch it, man. It's fucking power of religion. Power of religion. But I just couldn't believe it. Like, kids just appearing in different fucking countries, man. That's beyond.
Yeah, that's weird, man.
Can you imagine, like, going back to go pick your kid up and it's fucking gone?
Oh, sorry, he's on his way to Australia. And then, like, back then you wouldn't have fuck all money as well. You ain't getting your kid back.
No, it's gone. Like, see you later.
You'll be going to
It
your
makes me
local
like
counsellor trying to get them to fucking figure it out, innit?
Yeah. But like, it always made me wonder about, because they do it in TV shows and that, where is it America where they're like, "Oh, if you don't want your kid, you drop them off at the firehouse."
That's everywhere. I know a guy that was dropped off at a firehouse.
I don't see the point in it. Why go drop them off at the fire station?
Because I think the thing back in the day was they're like a responsible group that are open 24/7. I don't know why just not put them at a police station, but I suppose they're criminals there, so a crackhead could come out of the police cell and just be like, "Oh, you know how opportunist they are. They'll just pick that straight up and sell that in a heartbeat."
Did you get my baby? I'll come back to get it again. What baby? Oh my god!
Sandra, who's like a heroin addict for the last 10 years, is trying to sell it down the market.
Fucking hell, that's mental. Nah, I couldn't imagine it. Yeah, I just don't know. I didn't think if I didn't want my baby, the last place I would think to is like, oh, I'm going to drop it down the fire station.
Fire station is just... It must have been the thing back in the day where they just thought a responsible place. I don't know. Or they did leave them outside churches.
Oh yeah, the whole church drop off.
Yeah. I think that was before they realised what the church was doing to people. Now I think the last place you drop it is the church.
Can you imagine they found out the report and they were like, the church is doing what? Down there.
18 years later trying to find your kid.
I left my kid 10 years ago. Have you got him? Dirty bastards.
But no, the guy I know, he was left there. He was like, I think he was like 8 months old. He was left outside the one in Dunstable, the fire station in Dunstable. He was left outside there when he was 8 months. Don't have a clue where he's from. Anything, nothing.
Oh, what? They didn't come get him. They actually left him.
They left him there. Yeah, he has no idea who his family is or nothing. He was brought up by his foster parents, and like they're basically his parents.
Yeah.
But he has no idea at all. Fucking
That's
weird.
Fucking crazy. Yeah, that's really fucking weird, man.
It always used to be a trigger for him as well when we used to talk about family stuff. He used to get in like a proper strop. But when you're young, you don't realise why he's getting in the strop. But then when you get older, when we talked about it in recent years, he's like, that's why I used to get annoyed when you used to talk about your mum and dad and that. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? But obviously, you didn't think back then.
That reminds me of like a bit of the Harry Potter, which always makes me laugh. The Harry Potter, the part one of the last two.
Oh yeah.
When him and Ginger are having an argument, and he turns to Harry and he's like, "You didn't even know your parents," and he's like, "Oh, how dare you!" And he gets really mad. And I always turn to my mum and I'm like, "But he didn't. Like, what's he getting mad about? Like, that's a fact." How dare you? How dare I tell you a fact? Doesn't matter.
I think it is something that, obviously, because we're lucky that we know where we come from, it's something that we don't like see as a wrong thing. But like when he used to react, we used to be like, "What the fuck's wrong with you?" Do you know what I mean? Then when he explained it one night in a drunken heart to heart, as you know I like to do, Dan. I was like, makes sense.
Mental. Oh, I got an itch on my fucking... So I got an itch on my back.
I was hoping it was your back. It looked like your dick from here.
I'm wearing a fucking t-shirt and it's got a fucking... I don't understand t-shirts when they have like massive labels on them.
No.
It's like... And then because I forget things, I put the t-shirt on and then it's not until it itches me that I'm like, I should have cut that out.
I cut a lot out, and like when there's a hoodie that I wear as well that drives me mad with the thing on the back.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I'll be out shopping and I'm like, it's fucking there, and I'm screaming.
That's what I mean.
Like, and Charlotte's like, "What's wrong with you? Why are you in the mood?" I'm like, "Charlotte, you don't understand what I'm going through right now."
It's always the Van t-shirts as well. Like their labels are fucking like a reel of tape, and there's always like 3 or 4 of them. Doing my absolute nutting. I'll get up in a minute and I'll be like, I've got to cut it out.
Just rip it out with your teeth.
Oh mate, fucking annoying as fuck. Oh, have you got any other stories that you wanted to?
I had a little one about UFOs.
Oh yeah.
It's I would say at this point now, I wouldn't even say it's a conspiracy theory. I would say it's fact.
Yeah, I believe in aliens.
I think with aliens, obviously I've been listening to a lot of Joe Rogan lately, and he gets a lot of these type of people on. And there was this guy talking about they were discussing the Tic Tac video. Have you ever seen the Tic Tac video?
No.
It's been released by the actual like defense in America.
Right.
And it's a video of what looks like a Tic Tac, but it's like a ship of some sort or drone that flies around in ways that it shouldn't be able to. I think it was filmed in 2004, and it was filmed by fighter jet pilots.
Whoa, it's getting close.
On a pitch-black night off the coast of California, newly leaked video allegedly shows one of the U.S. Navy's stealth ships tracking an unknown object in the sky. Then after a few minutes...
Splashed. Mark bearing and range.
Okay, fair enough.
And it's the first of like a few where it's all the same thing, and it seems to come out from underneath the sea, go straight up, and then like starts fucking doing all these kind of maneuvers that obviously we won't be able to do. Goes to the speed of light without making any kind of noise. It's like insane. And you see it all in this video, and it's just like, it's really, now that the American like Air Force have said that they are actively looking into UFOs now. They're not saying it's extraterrestrial, but they're saying it's unidentified. They're like admitting it, like they declassified it and admitted it in 2017.
Right.
And ever since then, obviously, I've always thought it's got to be, because obviously there's so many, there's like hundreds of millions of stars in the universe with hundreds of millions of planets around them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it'd be crazy to think that there was no one out there at all.
There's actually less chance of there not being life than there is being life, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
But it's whether we've actually come into contact is the question, and I think we have from them videos. I think they have, but they don't know what the fuck they're looking at. You can even hear the pilots like going mental, being like, "Oh, look how quick it's going, man!"
I believe that UFO are like with us more than I believe that reptiles are taking over the world.
100%.
Yeah, like Men in Black.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. That makes more sense to me than like a lizard person. I don't know why, because what's the difference between a lizard person and a UFO? But
exactly.
I don't know. It just
exactly
feel more. You know what I mean?
And a lot of like that. What that David Icke goes into is like he looks back on all these old like artifacts from back in the day, like from the Egyptians, from the Mayans, from all like them type of civilizations back then.
Yeah.
And they think that they were out in the open then because there's so many pictures depicted of like lizard type people with elongated heads and stuff like that. But I think that's probably fucking aliens back in the day. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Been into contact with us for thousands of years.
Because what is it like? The pyramids are supposed to be helped by aliens, and then Stonehenge is supposed to be done by aliens.
Yeah, because Stonehenge was done over 3,000 years ago. And then they found a place in Turkey. I can't remember what the place is called, but that was 12,000 years ago. Like, they never knew that humans were sophisticated enough 12,000 years ago to be able to build like a Stonehenge type thing. And this site is like 4 times. There's 50. I think it's like 50 times the size of Stonehenge. There's like hundreds and hundreds of these things, and they've got actual carvings in them and stuff like that. It's all under the ground. And I think there's no way that humans were that sophisticated back then. Do you know what I mean?
No, not at all.
They had some kind of help to leave like some of the rocks are like 10 tons, 15 tons, which is like the equivalent to like 15 cars. You ain't going to be able to lift that up with levers and pulleys. It's not going to happen.
No, not at all.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely no, man.
But there's a few theories. There's theories that there was civilizations before that were nearly as advanced as us, like medieval times advanced.
Yeah.
And then a big explosion happened, like what happened with the dinosaurs, and they all got wiped out, and then what was left of them helped the hunter-gatherer type people, like the Egyptians, build big things, big buildings and stuff. But there's no way that the pyramids could have been built, because they're actually when you look at the pyramids, there's actually so many like mathematical things that go into it that prove that it knows the exact like axis of the Earth at the time. It knew the north and south, like the true north and south, which you'd only know from astronomy. So there was like loads of things that they did, and obviously it was like within 3/4 of an inch or something, right? If they'd 3/4 of an inch off, the pyramid wouldn't have went straight up like a pyramid. It would have been like an oblong fucking piece of shit.
Nah, it's fucking baffling, man. Absolutely baffling.
Mm. But that's what Jamie does when he's at work. He listens to weird shit about. I listen to some of the stories I hear as well, just complete utter bullshit, innit? But I'm
What,
just,
like on podcasts? And
yeah.
stuff?
I just think it's interesting to listen to how someone's like coming out with this shit, and then it's just like I don't believe what they're coming out with, but it's like still like they're so compelling in the way they say it that by the end of it you're just like, okay, I see where you're coming from.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, so on that note, after going into a bit of a ramble about the fucking aliens, we'll end it there, I think, Dan.
Yeah, man.
Again, everyone, if you want to write in to give us some like content, if you give us some questions, anything you want to say to us, just write into 2mennohope@gmail.com. And that's it from us. I'll pass it over to Dan for the music of the week.
Thanks, Jamie. Appreciate it. So, like we said at the beginning of the episode, the OziBattler, sorry, beer's gone to my head, is this week's artist. And he sent us a little bio, but it's way too long. So I'm going to step it down. But, so it says, OziBattler belts out songs that kiss like the Foo Fighters and bite hard like Social Distortion. Poking fun at the absurdity of life that's reminiscent of the Ramones' Youth of Rebellion. And then it's basically saying about how he listened to music all his life, and then he Napster happened, slot machines invaded the live venues, and life as a musician meant starving and living on the street, so he had to cut his hair and, what he says, get a real job.
Yeah.
Which everyone goes through when they're younger, you know what I mean? Like, I want to be in a rock band, and then you sort of, I need the money. So you put it to one side. But obviously then COVID hit, and OziBattler discovered that home recording had come a long way from the 4-track tape machines, so he started recording at home on his own songs. So he says now, after the kids are asleep and the dishes are washed, he fires up his home studio to record his own brand of music, recording everything himself with occasional guest spots from internet friends. He unleashed it on the world on January 26th with new music lined up to release in April and every 3 months after that. And he's got a few songs on Spotify, and of course, like normal, we will link all his stuff in the bio and on our socials and things like that. But he's got a good sound. I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
And we're going to play the song that he wanted, which is called Positive, which is what we was talking about, COVID and things like that, and anti-vaxxers. And hopefully you go out on his Spotify and things like that, and you'll check him out. So this is his song, Positive.
Woke up one morning and kinda felt unwell. Took my morning coffee, which I could not smell. I knew that that would mean I could be one of those who wore the mask but was still exposed. Went to the doctor test to see if I'm okay. She took the swab and told me to check in a day. through my bloodstream. Thinking back through what I've done, it could be bad. It